Hi, my name is Chloe. I am an actor, musician. I have a Bachelor of Science in Neuroscience, and I'm diagnosed with autism. When I was in elementary school, I didn't want to be getting in trouble. I didn't understand why my teachers were mad at me. I didn't have that kind of preset knowledge to understand what I was doing that was wrong. I kind of had in my mind that I was always doing something wrong, I guess, and I didn't understand how other people around me seemed to be kind of just know how to do everything. They have this preset knowledge to just do everything right in a social situation, and I was kind of just always thought there was something wrong with me from a pretty young age. I felt that I had to pretend to be someone else to make friends. The word masking to me means, I think, pretending to be something that I'm not. Maybe if I'm feeling uncomfortable or something like that, sort of repressing that to please other people. Some things that I would do specifically is scripting conversations. That's a big thing for me. Planning to meet up with a friend, I'm what's the first thing I'm gonna say to them so I'm not super awkward so they don't think I'm weird. I didn't know how to deal with it in a healthy way. And it led to a lot of deep-rooted anxiety and at some points deep depression about just feeling so wrong and thinking that it was me, that it was my fault. For me, a shutdown is after I've experienced something that I felt to be overwhelming. And that can mean not being able to express what I want, what I need. Sometimes I need to be alone, sometimes I need to be with someone, sometimes I just need a hug for a long time, and then I'm I can kind of come back on. That's something that I'm still struggling to cope with, and I actually kind of found that in trying to unmask more, that I've kind of been having more challenges with that. I think that will change. I think that it's before I was repressing it so much. Now that I'm trying not to, it's very overwhelming, even more so than it was before. Since I didn't know what was going on, why I would have such intense emotional reactions to things that I didn't want to, didn't expect to, it really made me sort of repress myself to not cause problems for other people, to sort of put everyone else and social situations above my own needs, because I thought that's what everyone else was doing. I didn't know that there was anything different about me in the way that I acted. I thought everyone was like that and that I was just bad at it. So I ended up just finding a therapist to talk about anxiety generally. And at one point she mentioned that she was reminded of her daughter in speaking to me, and her daughter is also autistic. And I had never even really considered the fact that that could be the case. And when I got my confirmation, I felt good in that, okay, there's a reason for why I'm feeling this way. And it also just helped me to realize what was going on to make me feel overwhelmed in certain situations. It helped me to identify triggers for myself and things like that. I try to do things like reminding myself that I don't need to pretend to be another person. If anything, that's more unsettling than just being myself. I am allowed to accommodate myself for my needs. I can actively take myself out of a situation if I'm not comfortable being there. I don't have to. I do think that there's still a stigma around having autism and being autistic, but I think it depends on the environment that you're in. But sometimes I do avoid bringing it up in some settings because I don't necessarily feel safe. I feel that sometimes if I disclose that part of me, that people might think of me differently, might think that I'm less competent, might start walking on eggshells around me, and I don't want that. I would like people to just take my story, but take it alongside so many other people's and understand how autism really varies by the person. I think a message to someone who might be pursuing an autism diagnosis or who might be experiencing some of the same things that I did would just be to realize that there's nothing deeply wrong with you, like how I thought there was something deeply wrong with me, and to Just try to be authentically yourself, because trying to be anything else, it's harmful to you in the long term. I think people just need to be more understanding that not everyone is exactly the same. People have different wants, different needs. People respond to different environments differently. And to be understanding, to be accommodating, and to have empathy for what other people might be going through, even if you don't know all the details.